Hello, my fellow individuals. I am Mr. Minimask Man here, and today we're going to talk about the Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 1 review. Alright, so just to let you know, this is spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet, so don't continue to watch this video. I'm just here to discuss my personal thoughts of the episode, and, we'll go from there. So let's see, I know I read from social media websites that people were complaining that, the episode was too short, which it kind of was compared to the rest of the episodes, like around 49 minutes length. And let's see, and also from what people complain that this episode hasn't really revealed that much from what we're, waiting throughout the month. And, I would say this episode was okay. It was decent. It's not a big, huge wow factor that gets you there, but it's like a setup episode. It's basically just showing what happened, kind of like from last season. Or sort of like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, and you kind of see where it's like, okay, and you kind of see what direction they're gonna go. But what people were expecting is to see that actual direction on that episode to say, okay, this is what's happening now. Which in this one, it's saying, okay, you remember all this? Alright, well here it is, for example, I know the main one's the whole Jon Snow death. Yeah, he's still dead in this episode. Pretty clearly. And, they haven't really, he's definitely dead, so I don't know what they're gonna do in that part. I know people are theorizing about the whole Azor Ahai theory that Melisandre will resurrect him somehow, which we'll get back to that in the end of the video. But yeah, you know what? Let me just kind of explain how I felt from each part of the episode. So yeah, we started with the whole Jon Snow thing, where Sir Davos and a few of Jon Snow's friends found, Jon Snow himself and Wolf Ghost. When Ghost was howling for Jon Snow, and they've all just gathered up in this one room with his corpse, pretty angry at the situation. And they know who it was, obviously. So, they're just kind of there protecting his body from them from burning the body or whatever they're going to do with it. And it just kind of started out there, which is kind of like, okay, we kind of saw that coming from the previews, Next part was with Theon and Sansa escaping from the Boltons, specifically from Ramsay. Or actually, no, it was Ramsay showing... At the beginning, it was kind of weird. You kind of saw Ramsay showing sympathy for Miranda that died. But, it's Ramsay. Sympathy just doesn't go together. But, we kind of saw that, where he just said, throw her meat, feed her to the hounds. Which obviously that's a Ramsay thing to say. And, and then after Theon and Sansa were escaping, after that big ass fall to the snow, from the top of the walls, somehow survived, still running away. And then they were captured, but with the mighty save of Brienne and Podrick, come saves the day, and Brienne kicking some ass out there, obviously the Brienne style. And that was pretty tight. And then even Podrick was fighting back, which I thought was interesting. I know there's a long way to go for him because he's just a squire, but he'll get there. And then Brienne, after she kills all those Boltons that were in that part, and Theon actually killed somebody too at the end to help Podrick. Brienne again tells Sansa that she will protect him from the promise from Catelyn Stark. And then she'll promise that she'll protect her and guard her for the rest of her life until death. And Sansa this time accepts, Brienne's loyalty. Say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I need you. So now, from what I'm getting now, we're going to see more of a Sansa, Brienne, Podrick, and Theon. Those four together for probably this season. I think maybe except until, on the previews I heard, the Ironborn, the Greyjoys will be involved more this season. So, well, something's gonna happen between Theon and them later on. Okay. Now, what happened next? Oh, okay. My only little complaint, I guess, in this episode, not really a complaint, but kind of expected more, was the, at Dorne. Okay. Doran Martell. That was the only character left from the Martell family that I actually liked, starting to like, and was expecting more from him. I was like saying, okay, this guy could be a good key player in the Game of Thrones storyline. And then, what's her name? I actually forgot her name, but you know, the mother of the Sand Snakes, Oberyn Martell's lover, a Game of Thrones style. They killed Doran Martell and his bodyguard with the big axe, and his son Tristan Martell. I mean, it caught me off guard, but at the same time, it's Game of Thrones. Anybody dies in that show. I really wanted to see more of Doran Martell, to be honest. He had potential. I liked him. I thought he was kind of like, maybe not good as a pure good character, but he was logical. He did, you know, for his country of Dorne. But Game of Thrones just wanted to kill more good people in this show, huh? And just leave all the bad ones out there. So now I assume Dorne will be under control from the Sand Snakes and their mom. So Dorne, I don't know what they're gonna do with Dorne now. To be honest, what that story arc is gonna be. We will see, obviously, in the show. But I don't know, I expected a lot from Doran Martell. I was kind of sad that they killed him off very quick in the beginning. So I don't know. Well, we'll see about that. And then I believe, I'm trying to remember, the next scene was now with Cersei and Jaime coming back, you know, from Dorne. Cersei at least expected to see Myrcella, but obviously Myrcella's dead for good. At least for what I saw, she's dead. Because again, from the Sand Snakes and all that, when she got poisoned on the last season. So, for what I'm seeing, you know, Jaime and Cersei, they're just kind of like back together. You know, they still will stick together, you know, just them now, and Cersei is kind of accepting that prophecy from the witch from the flashback, I believe was the last season. And now you know, as the prophecy is coming true, the last one of her children is Tommen Baratheon. Now, which I believe maybe Tommen, my prediction, maybe Tommen might die this season. I think it has to do something when they fight against the Sparrows. And then the whole Sparrow situation, I know, is going to be a big one, part of it at this season. The Lannisters, or I guess with the Tyrells, because I forgot they have, they still have Marjorie, Tyrell, and Loras in there. So it's going to be a big fight between all of the Sparrows and the High Priest against, the Lannisters and Tyrells. And obviously, freaking Lannisters now, they have Sir Robert Strong, or as y'all may know, the Mountain, came back from the dead. So, it's going to be a lot of bloodshed. I'm just afraid as a result Tommen is going to get killed somehow between all that. And then, you know, we saw Marjorie in her situation. She's still kind of trapped, wondering what happened to Loras. And she still won't, well, she doesn't, there's no confession to be made, but, you know, she's still there in the jail cell. So hopefully, I don't know what's going to happen between Marjorie and Loras right now. It's just kind of like, you know, they're still there. We don't know what's going to happen. That's still up in the air. And then, trying to rethink, I think it was now, might be out of order, but the next I can remember is they show a little bit of Arya's situation. Yeah, she's still blind. And the girl with the was it Jakara High? Yeah, you know, the girl from the House of Black and White. From what I'm saying, she's training Arya for her senses, to fight, to be better while she's blind, make her a better assassin, a better fighter, or better sword dancer, whatever you might call it. So, it just shows, it wasn't that much Arya this episode, but, they just kind of showed, like, oh, here she is, guys, she's still blind, but, you can see the potential, what they're going to do with her. So, it's going to be like and basically like Game of Thrones Daredevil. But, yeah. So, and then the next they showed back with Tyrion and Varys. That, they're looking at Meereen and the country, where it's going. So far, Meereen is not looking so good now. They're thinking of gonna break apart without Daenerys Targaryen to rule. And she's, with Drogon flew her God knows where. So they're just kind of looking at the situation and they're thinking what they're gonna do, what might happen to Meereen, the country of Meereen, and how they're gonna kind of fix it from what I remember. So we'll kind of see. It's gonna be interesting what Tyrion and Varys are gonna do to Meereen in the meantime while Daenerys is away. And then it shows Jorah and Daario, still searching for Daenerys, kind of bantering back and forth. And from what we saw, Jorah still has crap, what's it called? You know what I'm talking about, with the whole skin, the grayscale. That the grayscale is still spreading. So Jorah's fate, I don't know. I don't know if he'll die from the grayscale eventually, or if he'll die, just by a different kind of death before the grayscale infects him, or if miraculously he lives throughout the whole series, and then maybe at the very end he gets the whole grayscale thing. I don't know. But Jorah is still under that grayscale situation, spreading. And then now we go to Daenerys and the Dothraki that got her. So basically, for what we got this impression, she basically, they're kind of thinking what to do with her, typical stuff with the Dothraki are thinking of using her, for sex and all that stuff, as always. And the Khal, I forgot this Khal's name, but this Khal, is thinking of making a wife out of her, bearing her children, and blah blah blah. And there was a funny situation when he commented something about there's nothing better in the world than, to lie with a beautiful naked woman, something like that. And the other two Dothraki started bantering, saying, well, besides killing another cow, and then somebody's, or besides doing this, and it's like kind of this funny banter where there's like, well, there's, and he's just kind of like, yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. Now, then Daenerys at the end speaks back of Valerian, giving herself, I am Daenerys Targaryen, mother of dragons, Khaleesi of something, and then, the long, her long title. So, she tells the Khal that Khal's like saying, whatever. Like, I don't care, you're nothing, you're the queen of nothing. And then she told me, by the way, I was married to Khal Drogo, you remember that guy? And he's like, yeah, so he died. Like, yeah, well, I burned him. And then he's just kind of like, okay. Well, okay, fine. We won't touch you, we won't do anything to you. According to Dothraki rules, we can't, it's not allowed to be with a widow of another Khal. So far from where we're assuming she's safe. I forgot what they mentioned. They mentioned something about she has to go to somewhere for all the widows of a Khal. Some temple, I think. So we'll find out what all of that is about. And so far Daenerys is safe so far until we reach that temple. We don't know where Drogon went, but from the previews I'm pretty sure he's gonna come back eventually, obviously, whenever Drogon feels like it. And let's see, so she's safe, and I don't remember if I'm missing anything else from what I'm recalling this episode. There's I think that's pretty much it, except for the last part. God, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting a few of their names. The guy that hated Jon Snow from the Night's Watch. Forgot his name, and the other groups of the Night's Watch. They went to the door where Jon Snow's body is, and they told him, and they have by sundown to make their decisions, to leave, or to stay there. And if they stay, obviously they're gonna kill them. But Sir Davos says, well, give me till sundown, I'll give you your answer. And they're like, alright. So they left. Sir Davos and Jon Snow's group of friends are there, thinking, well, either way we're dead men. So what do we do? And Sir Davos suggested about Melisandre. He's like saying, Melisandre could save us. And they're like saying, how? How could she fight, that many men? And he's like, oh, I see her. I see what she can do, guys. Trust me. And then we get to that scene. You see Melisandre in a room. She, gets naked, front of the mirror. The typical Melisandre thing. And then she takes off the necklace that she has. And a few seconds later, you see a different image in the mirror. And then you see Melisandre. She's she's a naked old woman. Like a really old woman. And that kind of surprised me. It just out of nowhere, it just came that. I was like, oh. But then again, she is the Red Witch. And witches, do stuff like that. So I'm not 100% surprised. But at the same time, I was still surprised. It's something that I really didn't want to see while I was eating. So yeah, so then you saw, Melisandre now in her, I guess her true form. But she looks like she lies in bed, all sad and depressed, for I don't know what reason. Maybe, I guess her prophecy was false about Stannis Baratheon being the king, or the Azor Ahai Lightbringer. Like that whole stuff, she's realized that was wrong. It was all wrong. And I think she realized that Jon Snow was the one for the Azor Ahai Lightbringer prophecy. And now he's dead. So she's just kind of stuck like, what the hell do I do now? And that's when the theory comes up that maybe she'll resurrect him because of the other guys with the same religion of the light from, did they go season 2 or season 3? When they brought that guy back to life, when the Hound killed him every time. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I think somehow that's going to play a role in this one. So we're still not sure if he'll be back to life. Most people say yes, most likely. But we don't know what's Melisandre going to do now. And then the episode ends right there. So for what I'm getting, what this episode is demonstrating, it's the premiere episode, so of course it's not going to be everything that you want. It kind of slowly builds up. That's how Game of Thrones usually does it. First few episodes, a build up. Episode 3 or 4 is like something shocking. Not too shocking, but shocking. Then episode 5, 6, another more interesting, maybe new characters, more build up. Episode 8 or 9 is the best one of the series so far. 8 or 9 is usually like the big one. And then episode 10, obviously, the conclusion of the season, or cliffhanger. So, yeah. So overall, what I felt about this episode was going to happen is, probably episode 2 or 3, we're going to see what's going to happen now before Sir Davos, when he fights those guys in the Night Watch. What's Melisandre's decision, what she's going to do. Then Lady Brienne, Podrick, and Sansa, they're going to do something. They're probably going to regroup from some other people in the north to retaliate against the Boltons somehow, in a war, in a fight. And then we're gonna see Theon, I guess, reunited with the Greyjoys, and then something big is gonna play with the Greyjoys now. They're the not the new players, but now they're part of the game. In the Game of Thrones now, they're a bigger part now, eventually. The Dorne thing, I don't know what, I don't know what they're going to do with Dorne. The only thing I can think of is that I'm thinking Cersei and the Lannisters and Tyrells, first they're going to deal with the Sparrows. That's like their major threat. After dealing with the Sparrows, then I think she's going to retaliate against Dorne for killing Myrcella. So, at least that's what I'm imagining. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And then Arya, I assume she's just going to train until she gets better. And then Daenerys, I don't know, she'll probably learn more about the Dothraki. maybe use them to help her, for her goals. Probably use the Dothraki to somehow fix the situation in Meereen. I don't know. Tyrion and Varys are gonna deal with the country in Meereen in the meantime. And then later on we're gonna see Bran, what I saw in the next episode. So Bran's thing is gonna come up, his story arc. But yeah, overall, I thought the episode was decent for a premiere. Not the best, but not the worst either. People are just kind of, they always want more and more and more. I know it's like an 8 to 9 months of waiting for this show every premiere. But come on, guys, we can be patient. This is not bad. Yeah, it's a little shorter than most episodes, but it's just the beginning. It's not like The Walking Dead season 6 finale. That's a different story. That was the most unnecessary cliffhanger in this show. But this isn't The Walking Dead, it's Game of Thrones. So yeah, anyways. That's all I gotta say about the review, about this episode. I liked it. There were some interesting things going on. It's setting up something for the rest of the season. And that's all this episode was. So, obviously I'm gonna, watch every episode and get my opinions about this. And all that. And we'll just see where this goes. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. And, if you like this video, you know what to do. And, I will actually... I don't know. I'll do something. But yeah, anyways, thanks guys, and y'all have a good day.